First at 4, quarantine guidance for Michigan students, why it's complicated, and the one thing that could keep more students in class. Also, the new tool to investigate a gas leak in Flat Rock, and a new chance for residents to ask some critical questions. Last night's storms are gone, but some of you might still see some spotty showers. We're going to show you the evening forecast, plus Paula has this story.
We'll show you the command performance of a local gospel singer as she awaits the near impossible, a double lung transplant.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, a new tool is helping the investigation into the gas spill near Ford's Flat Rock assembly plant. The EPA using a mobile lab to speed up the air quality testing. Crews started testing this morning at the city's community center. Testing is set to begin in the 1,100 homes that are in 2 zones officials call areas of concern. Trace amounts of benzene are still being found in the city's sewer system. A virtual town hall will take place tonight at 7 on Wayne County Executive Warren Evans' Facebook page.
You can text in questions or into the chat box. We also got a ton of questions last night, as you remember, from the council meeting. Those are being compiled right now in City Hall, and they're going to go to whoever needs to answer those questions.
Today, I obtained some new information about one of the last inspections done at the Ford Flat Rock plant, and that's a part of my Defenders investigation when you join us tonight at 5. A surprising discovery over in Sterling Heights after a garbage truck actually crashes into a building. Police say they found an illegal marijuana grow operation inside the building on Mound near 15 Mile Road. This started when police say the garbage truck got cut off by another driver and then slammed into the building. Amazingly, no one was hurt. Tonight at 5, we're talking to investigators who say the odds of finding operations like this in Sterling Heights are increasing. Michigan parents have been pushing the state health department to come up with a uniform face mask policy for schools all across the state. Well, that hasn't happened, but the Department of Health and Human Services just released new quarantine guidance for students who may have been exposed to COVID-19. Kimberly Gill joins us from the newsroom. And Kim, the department spells out many different scenarios. I was reading through it. You've really got to pay close attention to what applies to you and your children.
You do. That's right, Karen. The state health department weighs different factors such as vaccine status, face masks, and social distancing. But these are just guidelines, not mandates, which means each county or each district will determine exactly what's enforced. So first, the department says any student who tests positive for COVID-19 should isolate and follow directions from their local health department. Anyone that has symptoms, regardless of vaccination status, should be tested and isolate as directed. The guidelines for asymptomatic students get even more complicated. For example, a fully vaccinated student who was exposed can stay in school if they wear a mask, monitor symptoms, and get tested 3 to 5 days after the exposure. Of course, children under the age of 12 cannot get vaccinated right now, and unvaccinated students are more likely to need to quarantine depending on the circumstances of the exposure. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge says the guidance is a step forward and sends a strong message about face masks.
It's important to have one set of guidelines that local health departments can use to guide school districts about who needs to stay home and who doesn't. Now, this guidance reflects the fact that the risk of contracting COVID if you're exposed really varies depending on whether or not you're vaccinated, how far apart students are spaced, and whether or not the individuals involved are wearing masks. The overwhelming message for school districts in these guidelines is, if everyone is wearing a mask, then you will have far fewer students that need to quarantine.
And Dr. McGeorge is going to take a closer look at the new guidance tonight at 5. We hope you'll join us for his report. And you can also read through the entire list of guidelines as well, all the different scenarios. Just go to the homepage of our website, clickondetroit.com. Until then, Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank
Sure.
you, Kim. We also just received the newest COVID numbers. The state is reporting more than 2,300 new cases since yesterday. That is a big jump from the estimated daily average of 1,500 we saw over the Labor Day weekend, but more people might have been tested after the holiday. The state also recorded another 51 deaths blamed on the virus. So Michigan Democrats say it is time to protect a woman's reproductive rights in our state. but they could face an uphill battle. They held a virtual news conference today to promote Senate Bill 70 in the state legislature. It would repeal a 1930s Michigan law that bans abortion and criminalizes health care providers who offer certain reproductive services. Right now, the old law is not being enforced because of the Roe versus Wade Supreme Court decision. But legal fallout from a strict new abortion law in Texas has many concerned Roe could be overturned. Republican controls the state legislature. Would any of them vote yes? Democrats say it's time to act.
Should Roe fall, Michiganders who seek or need to seek access to reproductive and gynecological health care, including abortion, will be protected along with their health care providers.
I don't support any such repeal, and the majority of the Michigan Republicans, I believe, also won't support the repeal.
Today's news conference comes one day after Governor Gretchen Whitmer urged lawmakers to send Senate Bill 70 and its companion bills to her desk. DTE is working to restore power for thousands of people following the storms that just rolled through our area last night. This round has been much smaller than some recent outages we've seen, but still more than 37,000 customers still without power, and we know that can be really frustrating. DTE says it has more than 2,000 crews in the field working on the problem. We'll be following up for you. All right, most of us drying out after last night's rains. Cooler sunshine does feel pretty good. Meteorologist Paul Gross is standing by with your first forecast. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, hey, Karen. Yeah, things have quieted down considerably. We're in the mid to upper 70s right now, so that's cooler than yesterday. Behind that cold front, winds from the west are gusting between 20 and 30 miles per hour. So as expected, it became a windy afternoon. Storm Tracker 4 is not showing much. You look at it and you say, well, I don't see a whole lot going on, but there is a couple of things going on here, and we zoom in a little bit here, and you can see just a little, just north of Ray Township, one little downpour there. One just came through Farmington Hills, Bingham Farms, and actually to the north, there's more in the thumb here. Get you up into Sanilac County here, you can see just right through Sandusky. So basically an isolated shower is possible for the next several hours. Then towards sunset, that all goes away. Skies become mostly clear and it becomes a very pleasant evening. Temps falling into the 60s this evening. So we have a lot to talk about in terms of the weekend ahead, and we'll do just that in just a few minutes, Karen.
All right, thank you, Paul. The clock is ticking for a local gospel artist who is waiting for the nearly impossible, a double lung transplant. Miraculously, even with breathing tubes and heavy life-sustaining apparatus, she has not lost her ability to sing. Paula Tutman has the story of the gift of a lifetime for a team of angels.
You've been stressing and worrying.
Kawipio Livingston has the voice of an angel.
Got some things on your mind.
And what she is doing is remarkable, giving a private hybrid concert to a few people online and a few people carefully spaced out in a waiting room that was turned into a makeshift concert hall down the hall from her hospital bed. And what she sings is what she wishes for. A double lung transplant that doesn't have much longer to find her.
I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis in 1999.
As her condition rapidly deteriorates.
They looked at her, the x-rays and said she has 6 to 10 years to live. And it was devastating, but God was a keeping God.
The 45-year-old songbird has been forced to make the intensive care unit at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit her home since July. And the staff has become her second family. And while her lung disease has stolen so much, though difficult, it has not stolen her voice. And so staffers made arrangements for a command performance worthy of angels.
But if you trust in me and do not,
this could be the last time, And so when they told me I could, and I called my friends, some of them lived out of state and they got on planes. It was the most amazing singing experience I've ever had. And I've been on stage with all of the gospel greats, but that moment meant so much to me.
And so for 45 minutes, Kawipio sang.
God wants you to know to stop worrying about what you can't control.
It was just the sweetest, most sincere experience I've been lucky enough to be a part of.
She gave all she had left.
Will it work out in time?
And now she waits. Time is running out. She knows this. But her hope is that her beautiful voice will reach the heavens in time for a divine gift of life.
You know, Kawipia is so grateful for that gift her Henry Ford Hospital family gave her, but her nurse told me the gift was actually theirs because they are in the trenches, Karen, once again, exhausted with COVID patients. And just by seeing the courage and the inspiration of this woman, her nurse said it gave her the courage to stay in the trenches.
Unbelievable. Her voice is so beautiful. And like you said, Paula, that is a gift for all of those health workers. Thank you so much for sharing. We'll be keeping her, obviously, in our thoughts and prayers. Still ahead here, first at 4, we're going to talk about a grocery store that's going to offer shoppers 3 different ways to skip the checkout line. Are you interested? We've got it in Trending Stories. Also, a series of terror attacks stunned the world almost 6 years ago. We'll show you what's happening now in the search for justice. But first, an emotional battle involving American history, racial justice, and legal action comes to an end. Plus, our special coverage focusing on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 continues tonight at 5 and 6. We're honoring Michiganders lost on that day throughout our newscast this week. Take a look.